Hey guys, it's Angie. Today I'm going to do a video on my hair, and this is probably the biggest question I get asked: what color dye do you use? So I'm going to show you what color dyes I use, as well as kind of the developer and just some other general red hair care tips to keep your hair as red for as long as you can. Now I do have a video on this previously, so I'm using a lot of the same stuff, just a higher video quality now. But if you do want to see that, there might be some information that I missed in this video, it might be in that video, I'll link it below. Otherwise, let's get started. Now, red hair is notorious for fading because the particles are larger, so they don't cling to the actual hair shaft, as well as, say, other colors. So if you want to be a redhead, it takes a bit of dedication. You do have to dye your hair every 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. I usually go about 8 weeks because my hair fades out to a nice color. It's not disgusting and nasty, and I feel okay going out in public with it. So it just depends on, you know, how dedicated you feel to red hair as to whether or not I would suggest you do this. Initially, when I went red, I did bleach out my hair. I used a product called Color Oops because I had black in my hair, and black tends to have, like, I think it's ammonia that really clings to your hair and you can't get it out. So I did have to bleach my hair. I haven't bleached it since, and that's been like years ago, so pretty happy that I don't have to bleach my hair every time. But it did work really well after I bleached it. I'm not an expert, so, you know, if you're going to be doing any kind of thing like this, if you're going from a really, really dark hair color, I would suggest you research online, read a lot, especially if you're new at hair dye, and make sure that you know what you're doing or you have a general knowledge of what you're doing, because I did not go to hair college, hair school, whatever, and I would feel really, really bad if somebody messed up their hair because of something that I said. So I'm just telling you what I did. Anyway, I used the Color Oops, and then I went to Sally's and picked up the hair dye from Ion, which is called Medium Intense Red Blonde, and I have it right here. There are two forms of this. There's a liquid and a cream. I love the cream because it's less messy. The liquid, when you mix it with a developer, it's just like a runny mess. It gets all over your kitchen or your bathroom. You count wherever you dye your hair. I don't dye my hair in the kitchen, but I don't know why that came out. Anyway, I prefer the cream. And when you get your developer, it just depends again on the strength that you want. I use 30 developer, which some people are going to say that's bad for your hair. It's what I use. It's what it works for me. So if you want a like gentler one, you'd use like a 10 or a 20, but 30 works for me. And I mix that in like a 1-to-1 ratio. So 2.05 ounces of this, 2.05 ounces of that. Mix them together, paint it on your hair. And something that I've been using recently has been this hot red intensifier, which is also found at Sally's. It's the color Brilliance Ion one, and it's in the same section, and it just intensifies the color. I do notice a difference with this. It does make my hair less obnoxiously red. It tends to take down some of the brassiness. When I first started using this, I was using a protein filler. I didn't notice much difference, but with this, I've noticed that it makes it more wearable, but it still keeps like the red color, if that makes sense. It cuts down on it being too red-orange. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So I use all three of these products to dye my hair, and I go by the instructions inside of this actual box. There's like a nice little pamphlet that you can read, and it's been working pretty fabulous for me. I wait a couple days after I've dyed it to actually wash it again, so I end up using a lot of dry shampoo. This is my favorite. I showed it in my February favorite. It says Clean Freak from Not Your Mother's, and it's refreshing dry shampoo. I like it. It does have like a little bit of a white cast on my hair, and there are dry shampoos for redheads, but I just haven't been able to find them, or I haven't really looked for them because I kind of have a couple of cans of this and I want to get rid of it first. But it is essential for you to not wash your hair every day. Every other day is still pushing it. Every other day, every 3 days is probably like the best scenario. And also want to wash your hair in like sulfate-free shampoos and cold water if possible. I don't have any shampoos or conditioners with me because I don't really have them on hand. They're in the bathroom, but sulfate-free. If you look at the back and the ingredients, if it says sulfate-free or it's good for color hair, you're probably okay. Definitely check the ingredients though, because some of those people who say, oh, this is color safe, it's not really color safe. And I've learned my lesson. Alright, just to recap, I use Ion products from Sally's Beauty. I use the 30 developer, Medium Intense Red Blonde in the cream formulation, and the Hot Red Intensifier. Also use sulfate-free shampoos, and I rinse my hair in cold water. And remember, dry shampoo is your best friend. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this video on red hair. Red hair if you don't care. And stay tuned for more. I have some cool videos coming up this week, including some special effects stuff, just some like wound tutorials and like a special effects kit. Might run into next week, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.